Can I install Windows OS, Windows 7, on a removable USB hard drive? I wanted to take a sneak peek at Windows 7, so I thought of installing it. I have Windows Vista on my laptop, which came pre-installed with it. I didn't want to mess with it. So I created a partition, 20 GB, in my USB external hard disk and tried to install Windows 7 on that partition. But when I booted from a Windows 7 DVD and selected the target partition on USB hard disk, it said it cannot be installed. Is there any way to install Windows on an external USB hard disk?
You can give PoBoot a try. PoBoot stands for Portable Windows Boot Project. This project aims to make your Windows operating system to boot from USB storage media easily. Also look here for a more manual approach. Quick tutorial. Method 1. Virtual Machine, OS, Windows Vista, VMware Workstation. Download VMware Workstation and install it. Create a new virtual machine for Windows. Choose Custom and pick LSI Logic as SCSI card. Use physical DVD-ROM or ISO image as where do you want to install Windows from. Have your USB drive plugged in. Use physical disk, advanced, of your USB drive in VMware. Make sure that you choose the correct physical drive, drive 1 usually, or else you might wipe the current OS drive. Use entire disk. Click Advanced on Disk and Virtual Machine Settings. Click on Independent and Persistent Changes for the disk. Now, please remove all assigned letters in Disk Management diskmgm.msc for the USB drive. Also make sure you format the drive during Vista installation inside VMware. If it is already formatted, you still need to format during Vista installation, or else you might get corrupt boot as CRC disk error. VMware will show that drive is SCSI disk under LSI Logic controller. This is fine as Vista will install on a SCSI disk. Boot and go through the Vista install procedure in VMware. Let Vista boot into the desktop for the first time in VMware. After that, just launch PoBoot program. You need to copy it to your virtual machine first. Click the patch button on the main PoBoot program. Shut down Windows Vista inside the VMware. Close VMware. Now reboot your machine and select USB boot drive from BIOS boot. Machine should now boot to Vista Desktop. Method 2. Physical Machine, OS, Windows Vista, HDD, SATA, 2.5 inch. Plug the hard disk drive into the physical machine, SATA or I. Insert Windows Vista installation DVD and boot from it. Install Windows as usual, to your portable HDD. After installation finished, apply PoBoot patch. Shut down Windows and turn off your machine. Take out the HDD and then plug it with interface converter, SATA and GT, USB, IDE GT, USB, etc. Now reboot your machine and select USB boot drive from BIOS boot. Machine should now boot to Vista Desktop.
My method. Install Windows 7 to virtual machine. Create image from virtual machine system drive. Restore image to USB drive. Some BIOS can emulating USB mass storage behavior if you boot from them. HDD, FDD, etc.
It might be a little complicated, but Windows Vista and Windows 7 Ultimate can boot from a VHD file, which I would assume could be stored on a removable USB hard drive as described at this URL. The only thing is you may not be able to boot from it directly. As a general warning, one of the reasons Microsoft won't let you do this by default is that changing the hardware usually breaks Windows installations. I'm not saying this is your goal, I'm just saying it may not work if it is. You should be fine if you're keeping it on the same machine.
With Windows 7 SP1, there is an easier way to install Windows 7 to a USB hard disk or USB flash drive. This was discovered by cdob at reboot, this URL. It boils down to two registry keys, which I think are present in Windows 8 to enable Windows to Go feature. I guess this feature was present in Windows 7, but was never activated. So in order to use these new registry settings and install Windows 7 to a USB hard disk or flash drive, you can use a tool called WinSetup, which I have mentioned here. Is there an equivalent to Windows to Go for personal use? This tool is easy to use and you quickly install Windows 7 your USB hard disk. This tool also allows to create VHD, virtual hard disk, on your USB drive and install Windows 7 to the VHD on the USB drive. More information in the below links. This URL. This URL.
Inicie antes do suporte de Chanel. Please consider subscrevendo.